Hey my friends, it's Mark from Mark Kelly Farms. We are back, and guess what we're going to do today? We're going to unpack this bad boy right here. If you remember, we've been waiting a long time for one of these, and we might even use it tonight, so stick with us. We got her out of the box. Look at that bad boy right there. That is one sexy canner. So the canner comes very well packaged with some big styrofoam blocks and a plastic bag. And we're going to keep all that packaging because we're going to store that in the garage. And that'll keep everything nice and clean and keep it out of the dust. It comes with a front and back quick start guide for boiling water bath canning on one side and pressure canning on the other. It takes you through all the steps that you have to do to use it. And it also comes with a instruction booklet, and it's even got recipes in it, just like the old canners used to come with. And the capacity on this thing will show you. So for pressure canning, half pints, you can do 10 of the regular mouth and 14 of the wide mouth. That's because you can double stack those. And then pints, you can do 8 of the regular mouth and 7 of the wide mouth. And for quarts, you can do 5 of the regular mouth and 4 of the wide mouth. So for boiling water canning, you can do 10, just like the pressure canning, of the half pints and 7 of the wide mouth. And then I believe that's because you can't double stack the wide mouth. Now for pints, you can do 8 and 7, just like the pressure canning. Now you do not want to do quarts in this for boiling water canning, because if you remember, you need 1 inch of water over the top of your jar, and the canner's not tall enough to do boiling water bath on the quarts. So you'll have to use your standard old boiling water canner. So there's lots of safety features on this. This is the vent. It's either in vent position or can position. Goes either way. This is called the regulator. They'll have you pull this off sometimes. There's a little spring-loaded detent in that for different operations. For boiling water, you leave this off and it never builds pressure. And then in initial stages of the pressure canning, like warming your jars, you will also take that off. Now another safety feature is this lock here. To unlock the lid, you have to turn this like this, and then this lifts out. And this is actually the pressure sensor that seats right here in the lid. Now it does two things. When it's down and locked, it keeps you from opening the lid to eliminate any silly ideas you may have. And then as you open this, you can be absolutely sure there's no pressure because there's a big hole right down here into the pot. Now, just like any other pressure cooker, you see the lines here on the lid. That's the locked position. You rotate counterclockwise, and then this lid lifts right off. Now it comes with a trivet that goes in the bottom that you have to have anytime you're canning, because you don't want the jars wobbling around in there being right on the bottom, because the bubbles escaping from under the jars will cause them to clank around and break. So you always need a trivet in the bottom of your canner no matter what it is. And power cord, standard power cord, just like on the old computer monitors, has that same connection. And then this pot actually is removable. And this pot is the only thing with the trivet that is dishwasher safe. You don't want to put any other of these parts in the dishwasher. Now you can see there's like an induction heating coil down in the bottom. And then the pot has a fill line for pressure cooking. You can see it right there. That's where you want to fill your water to when you're doing pressure canning, right there. The lid, they recommend just wiping it with a towel. The sealing surface on the lid and the frame comes out, so you can wash that and wash the inside of the lid thoroughly. And then this vent right here actually has like a filter or whatever. You can pop that lid off and clean the inside of that as well. It's all digital. It's got different functions or different times. You can adjust the time on your pressure canning according to the size of your jar. And you can also do that for boiling water bath canning. Now, it automatically adjusts for altitude when you're pressure canning, so you don't have to worry about that. The only time you have to make adjustments for altitude is when you're doing boiling water bath canning and you need to extend the time, which this will let you do. So it warms your jars for you and everything. It's got cycles for the whole process where it'll warm your jars and it'll tell you when to fill your jars and all that. And the only thing that I could see that would be a great addition to this, like when I do our pickles, we make the extra crunchy pickles, so we don't do that at a full rolling boil. We do that at 180 degrees for 30 minutes. And my only wish was you could set the degrees on the water bath canning so we could do that in this canner. But it doesn't allow you to do that. It goes full on boil. So for that process, we'll just use the regular canner that we've been using, and then we'll monitor the temperature and the time for that. But other than that, this thing looks like it's going to do everything we need it to do. So tonight, we're actually going to make some of our zucchini relish because we are out of that, and we finally got enough zucchini to do 2 batches. We're doing a double batch, and Kelly's going to help me with that tonight. And we also got enough cucumbers to can some pickles. So you saw us do the refrigerator pickles a couple days ago. And by the way, those are done. I had some this morning. We didn't have to go full week on those. They were actually pretty tasty already. But we're going to can some sweet pickles. We still have some dill pickles left down in the pantry, but we only have 1 jar of those sweet cider pickles that we make. So we're going to get after it. We'll kind of take you along and show you the process using this new canner. So we got everything rolling. The canner here, you turn it on, plug it in after you wash it all up. It instructs you to wash it before you use it. And then you plug it in, and when it comes on, it says pressure can over here. And then you turn this knob until it goes to water bath can, which is what we're doing. And then you press the button and it selects water bath, and then it comes with the timer on the bottom. You turn the knob until you get the time that you want, which is we're doing 15 minutes for our zucchini relish. And then you press that again. And then it says load jars, and you load your jars in there with water. You put your water in first, and you put your jars in like half full of water. So right now it's in the mode where it's heating the jars. So when it's done heating the jars, it's going to beep, and then it'll say load jars here on the bottom. We've got some extra water boiling so we can cover our jars. I got our lids in there sterilizing. We have our zucchini relish mixture in here, which we're going to bring to a boil. And then we're ready to load some jars. So once we get the jars loaded, we put it back in here. Once the jars are loaded, we take them out one at a time, dump the water out, fill them, put it back in, take another jar out, and so on, so the jars are nice and hot. And then once we get all the jars loaded, we put the lid back on. It says to take the regulator off, which we have because we're in water bath mode. And then once it's filled, we'll lock the lid back on, and then we'll probably press another button. It'll go into canning mode. And once it gets up to temperature and is boiling, the timer will start the 15 minutes. And when the 15 minutes is done, the timer will go off again. And then you can unload the canner and then reload it if you're going to use it again. Now you probably noticed our weird setup we have going on here. That's because I do not have a heavy bottom stainless steel pot. And you want to cook this in stainless because there's a lot of vinegar in this mix. The vinegar, if you were to cook it in, say, aluminum, would start eating the aluminum off the pot. So You always want to use non-reactive materials, which stainless steel is about the only way to go, or glass, but I don't recommend glass either. But the reason I have this frying pan down here is because that frying pan has a heavy bottom in it. So I put my stock pot on that frying pan, and that diffuses the heat underneath the pot, so you don't get that burnt spot right on the middle. There's a lot of sugar in this mix, so we don't want to burn our mix. So that's why we have the skillet there. I have a heavy bottom pot in my Amazon cart. I'm just saving up to purchase it. Alright, Kelly's filling jars. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning outside. We've moved the vehicles into the barn so we don't get hail damage. So I've been pulling the jars out of the canner for Kelly and bringing them over here. And then she fills them. And then I take them away. Put it in the canner. Grab another one. And so on and so on. Alright, we got the canner full, we got the lid back on, and then you press the little arrow button to start the next process. And you see it's got 15 minutes on there, but it won't count down until it reaches full boiling. Pretty simple.
15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 8:35 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located near Broken Bow, moving southeast at 45 miles per hour. Expected hazards include 60 miles per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. This is a radar-indicated threat. Impact, hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Broken Bow, Ansley, Maryland, Leicester,
Here it comes.
Arcadia.
Wind's getting pretty serious. We better get down the basement for a little bit. We're at the top of the basement stairs here, looking out the back door. Chickens are probably freaking out. The wind outside sounds like a train going by. We are hunkered down in the basement. Brandy's down here with us. She doesn't like thunder at all. And the internet's still knocked out, so we can't track the storm to see when it's past us or where it's going. So we'll be down here for a little bit. All right, I think the worst of the storm has passed, and our canner's done. We can open this baby up. There she is. 8 jars. So we're going to pull these out, and we got another batch going in. All right, back from the basement, we're doing our next batch. Probably our final batch. I will say this is the best canner for tornado warnings, because you can go down to the basement and this thing keeps right on working. Another plus for an automatic canner. Now, if you want the recipe for our zucchini relish, check out our canning playlist, and you'll find it in there. Fantastic relish. We use it on everything, and we almost ran out this year because everybody wants some too, so we've given some away over the year. And Kelly said, no more giving it away. When we have extra next year, then we can give it away. All right, we got our last batch out of the canner. That's some hardcore canning, folks. Right through the storm. We've got 13 and a partial one that we're going to put in the fridge. So this canner is pretty impressive. Really enjoyed using it. It makes things really simple even for the water bath canning. I really liked it. It does all the timing for you. It takes all the guesswork out of it. So we're looking forward to using this for some pressure canning coming up for some low acid foods like green beans and stuff like that. So I was impressed for the maiden voyage of this canner. It's really going to be a game changer here on the farm. You can imagine for the pressure canning how you can just walk away and do other things. It's going to be really nice. So till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. We'll put a couple things up here for you to watch if you're interested. See you on the next one.